The Vault of Paper Shadows. The rain came down in thin silver needles, streaking the windows of the National Records Annex in Lower Manhattan. From the street, the building looked harmless, just another limestone block with bronze doors and a forgotten seal above the entrance. Inside, however, were miles of shelves stacked with paper that governments preferred not to remember. Elena Park signed her name on the visitor log and slid her press credentials across the counter. The guard squinted at them. "Court order?" he asked. Elena nodded. He handed back the badge with a sigh. "Third floor, Archive Wing C. You've got 2 hours." 2 hours to look at history that had spent decades hiding. She rode the elevator alone, listening to the cables hum. When the doors opened, fluorescent light washed over endless rows of gray filing cabinets, each drawer stamped with codes: sealed 1997, restricted 2003, unsealed, court-ordered. Her phone buzzed. "Marcus, you in?" "Just arrived." "Remember, copy everything. If they change their mind tomorrow, the door slams shut." Elena slipped the phone back into her coat pocket. Everyone in journalism knew the rumors. For years, attorneys and activists whispered about a collection of depositions, travel logs, settlement exhibits, flight manifests, and correspondence connected to a disgraced financier whose private island and high-powered acquaintances had turned him into one of the most infamous figures of the 21st century. The public had seen fragments, but the vault? That was something else. A clerk led her down a narrow aisle to a metal cart stacked with boxes. "Box group 14A through 14F, he said. "You can't remove originals. Scanners are over there." Elena rolled the cart to a wooden desk and pulled on white cotton gloves. The first lid creaked open. Inside, folders labeled in black marker. Deposition 2009. Flight logs redacted. Correspondence, legal privilege claimed. Settlement exhibits. She swallowed. This was not gossip. This was infrastructure. Paper has a sound. The first deposition transcript smelled faintly of dust and toner. Typed pages, margins filled with handwritten attorney notes. A young woman's testimony, anonymous, name replaced with a letter. Questions about dates, houses, jets. Who else had been in the room? Elena scanned quickly, copying each page. Nothing explosive on its own, but patterns began to emerge. Locations repeated. Names appeared, blacked out with thick marker. One sentence escaped censorship. The guest from overseas arrived after midnight. Another, he said the meeting was for donors. Elena frowned. Donors to what? She flipped to the next folder, flight logs. Columns of dates, aircraft numbers, destinations. New York, Florida, Caribbean airstrips, Europe. Some passenger names were fully visible. Others were reduced to initials. But when she lined up the dates with the deposition testimony, her pulse quickened. The overseas guest. Same week. Same route. Coincidence? Possibly. But coincidence stacked too many times becomes architecture. Her phone buzzed again. "Marcus, anything good?" "Early, but the logs line up with testimony. Not proof, yet." "Careful language. We can't outrun the lawyers." Elena smiled grimly. That was always the race. Truth versus injunction. The unsent letters. Box 14C held correspondence, printed emails, letters on heavy stationery, legal memos arguing what should and should not be disclosed. One envelope, yellowed at the edges, caught her eye. No letterhead, just a typed note, "Destroy after review." It hadn't been destroyed. Inside, "I do not want my name anywhere near this. We had dinner once, years ago. That is all. If this surfaces, it will be misinterpreted. No signature, but the watermark on the paper showed the crest of a prestigious private club. She scanned it. Another letter. The press is circling. Make sure the manifests remain sealed. Our agreement depended on that. She leaned back. These weren't confessions. They were fear. Fear left fingerprints. Marcus's rule. Marcus Hale had taught Elena one unbreakable rule when she was an intern. Never print what you can't prove twice. He was waiting for her back at the newsroom, pacing between desks cluttered with coffee cups and monitors scrolling legal filings. She called him. "I've got documents showing pressure to keep passenger lists sealed." From who? Not named, but influential enough to scare people. Marcus exhaled slowly. That's the story. Not who, but how. The leak about the leak. 2 days later, Elena's inbox filled with anonymous messages. "Stop digging. This won't end well. You don't understand what you're touching." One email came from a disposable account. "You think the files are complete? They aren't. The real vault was offshore." She forwarded it to Marcus. He replied with one line. They noticed. Publication day. The headline did not name new villains. It didn't speculate. It didn't accuse. It simply laid out documents, timelines, and pressure campaigns. Sealed for years, how records in a high-profile case were kept from public view. Screenshots of memos, flight routes, legal letters asking for anonymity. Within minutes, the servers strained. By noon, cable news panels argued. Lawmakers tweeted. Advocacy groups demanded broader disclosure. Attorneys issued statements carefully crafted to say nothing. Elena watched from her desk, coffee untouched. Marcus stood behind her. "You did good," he said. "This is what sunlight looks like." The final folder. That night, after most of the staff had gone home, Elena opened her laptop. A new message waited. No subject. One attachment. A scanned page. Court stamp. Motion to unseal. Pending. Below it, handwritten. "You were right. There's more." She leaned back in her chair. The rain had started again outside, streaking the windows just like it had at the archive. Paper shadows. They stretched long, but once light touched them, they never stayed quiet for long.